In the last week or so, we've seen major outbreaks of COVID-19 among the elite in D.C., including Democrats in Congress, the Biden administration. How does it feel to read about that news, knowing that the administration has been so critical of your approach to the pandemic?
So just let me say very clearly to all Floridians, you just saw Philadelphia impose an indoor mandate. You're going to have potentially some of these other deep blue jurisdictions go back to restrictions and mandate. You look what's happening in Shanghai. They have everybody under a brutal lockdown. So I just want to be very clear, as long as I sit in the chair in which I sit, no Floridian will be restricted, mandated, or locked down in any possible way. And so when you see some of these folks who want to impose that, and let's just be clear, you look over the last 2 years, there's a cottage industry that was developed of lockdown politicians and media personalities who would either impose or support lockdown policies in their jurisdictions or advocated on their TV shows, criticize Florida mercilessly, and then the first chance they get to get out from under the yoke of those bad policies, you see them in Miami or Palm Beach or all these other places. And if I had $1 for every lockdown politician that escaped their own policies to come to our free state, I would be set for life. That's just a fact. Now, some people will say, oh, they're hypocrites, all this stuff. Yeah, they are, but that's not the issue. The issue is if they thought their policies really were necessary and these mitigations really were effective, they would be abiding by it. They're not abiding by it because they know it's all about politics and control. So that's why they don't wear the mask. That's why they don't do all this stuff, because they know it is COVID theater. And so we don't have any tolerance for COVID theater in the state of Florida. I can tell you this state would not be booming the way it is if we had COVID theater. People know that this is the free state. They know that they can come here and make their own decisions. They know they're not going to be harassed to show medical papers to go have a hamburger somewhere. They know they're going to be able to enjoy life, and so we are never going to waver from that. I will say that, if it weren't for our leadership, we would have had kids locked out of school for a year throughout this state. We would have had hundreds of thousands of people tossed out of work. We would have had small businesses and family-owned businesses that would have collapsed. And instead of that, we weren't locking those people down. We were lifting them up, and that was the right thing to do.